Hi yogis, my name's Stevie.
And I'm Jackson.
We're going to do a little class today to explore the warriors. There's 3 warrior poses, and there's a really interesting myth that goes with the warrior poses. So we're going to start out today just by warming up a little bit, and then we'll sit and we'll share that crazy little myth of how the warrior poses came to be, and then we'll go into those warrior poses. Sound good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's start out by warming up our wrists a little bit. So bring your hands together so your fingers are all interlaced, and just start making some circles in one direction. So you're squeezing your palms together.
It's popping.
Yeah, I'm popping too. Popping wrists. Keep doing that. And then maybe go the other way. You gotta think about it a little bit. Make sure you're squeezing your hands together. Are you as poppy on that side?
No, I'm more popping.
Okay. All right. 2 more breaths doing this. All right. Shake out your hands. Good job. All right. Another little arm exercise we like to do is called like serving the platter. So we're going to take our right hand, place it palm face up, and you're going to serve that platter forward, and then you're going to spin it around. So you want to keep your hand as flat as you can, like you have something super fragile, or you're about to serve food and you don't want to drop it. Nice. And then we'll go backwards. So bring your arm back, spin it all around. Don't drop, don't drop.
I dropped mine.
Yeah. You can make as much movement as you need in your arm and your back and your shoulder to make that happen, because that's what we're trying to open up. So take your other hand, your left hand, serve it forward and around. Open up that whole arm and back. And then bring it back towards you and do it the other way. Nice, Jackson. All right, now we go for the double, right? 2 platters, go for it. Oh, it's kind of like you're dancing
I dropped both
at a
of them.
festival. Oh, try it again, go back. Open everything up, woo!
Oops.
And there's our platters. We're open, right? Everything's feeling nice and open. All right, bring your hands together again. Maybe this time interlock your fingers the opposite way, so it should kind of feel awkward when we do it. Yep, try that out. Does that feel awkward?
Yeah.
That's what we're going for. All right, push your palms away, open them up. Big stretch through the arms and the back, and then take a big breath and breathe up. And then breathe out and down. Round through the back, push your back away, and then breathe up. And breathe out and down. Big breaths. Nice. One more up. And then let your hands come apart and come all the way down to the ground. I'm going to come in front of you just a little bit. So root your fingers down in the ground. Make it feel like there's little tree roots growing out. Maybe close your eyes and take a couple breaths. Good job. Now take a big sunshine breath, breathing your hands up over your head. Palms touch. Take your right hand down out to your side, and then take your left hand up and over. Big stretch through the side body. Good job. Maybe look up at the sky. Maybe look down at the earth. Do it again. Up and down. Good job. Breathe all the way up. Both hands go up nice and high. Touch. And then your left hand comes down towards the earth, and your right hand goes up and over. You feel that good stretch in your ribs?
Yeah.
Yeah, reach up out of there. You don't want to crunch in. It's a big reach, and maybe look up and down a little. Good job. And then breathe both hands straight up, and breathe out right to the heart. Good job. I'm going to change the way I'm sitting because it's kind of bothering my knees a little bit. Sit in a cross-legged position. So we'll share the story of the warriors a little bit, right?
I'm gonna get my pen.
So the story of the warriors is a myth. So it's a Hindu myth, and basically that's like a big crazy story to try and explain something. It's kind of like a fairy tale, or if you know anything about any of the Greek gods, it's similar to that. So really big, robust stories. And this one has a little bit of violence in it. And we're not condoning violence at all. It's just a story. And then we'll talk about that a little bit in a minute. But the story of how the warrior poses came to be is that there was a princess basically, and her name was Sati. And her dad was a king. And he thought that his daughter, the princess, should marry someone royal and regal like him and her, right? But she fell in love with this guy, Shiva. And Shiva had blue skin, and he was kind of wilder, and he's a wandering guy, and he has these big dreadlocks. And the king was like, no, right? He was not about it. But Sati and Shiva were in love, and so they got married anyway, right?
Yeah.
You love who you love. So they got married anyway. So, and they kind of went off and did their own thing, and the dad, the king, was really, really unhappy. And so he threw this huge party, and he invited everyone in the land except for who?
Sati and Shiva.
Yeah, he did not invite them. And his daughter was super unhappy about that. She's like, dude, why can't we come to the party? We're family, right? I'm your daughter, this is my husband. And so she went to the party anyway to tell her dad that she was very unhappy about it, right? And the dad didn't really seem to care that much, the king. So Sati sat down, kind of like we are. This is how the story goes anyway. And her anger was like so big, it just turned into fire. You know when you're really mad and you feel that fire? She was so angry, and her fire just overcame her, and she burned up. She was gone. Not cool. And this happened in front of this whole party, right? So when her husband, Lord Shiva, found out, he was super angry and super sad, right? He took one of his dreadlocks
And cut them off.
chopped it right off, threw that dreadlock down to the earth. Okay? And out of this dreadlock, from Sati's lover, grew a warrior. So, the warrior grew out of the ground,
Yep.
and that is how we find Warrior 1. And we'll show you that in a minute. And he went to the party, right?
Yeah.
And he found the king. He was not happy about the king, and he chopped off the king's head.
Chop.
Chop. And that's how we find Warrior 2. Chop. Okay?
Chop.
And then he took the king's head,
And placed it on a stake.
placed it on a stake for everyone at the party to see. And this is like a super gruesome, horrible thing to think about. It's not real, it's just telling where the poses came from, okay? So, Shiva, the guy who chopped off his dreadlock and created this warrior, comes back down to the party, and he sees the horrific sight, and he feels not good about it. He feels horrible that the way he was feeling led him to make this awful decision that created this scene that he's seeing. And so he brought the king back to life.
That's a good decision.
It's a good decision. And the king still had to pay a price, though. And so the king had to live his life with the head of a goat. So, that's the crazy story of these warrior poses.
Okay.
It's really interesting. And before we go any further, I don't want anyone to think that we're saying that you should be violent or feel violent in any of these poses. That is just the mythological story of how the poses came to be. When you're in the poses, you should actually feel super courageous and strong, and like you're following your heart and you know what's good, and you're being protective and standing your ground. So you should feel really powerful in these poses. Not angry and not violent. You should feel centered and strong and grounded. Okay? All right. So let's make our way up to standing. and we'll explore the warrior poses a little bit, okay? So we talked about warrior one, where the warrior, his name is Virabhadra, and he grows out of the dreadlock, and he comes out of the ground. Where the dreadlock hits the ground, he grows out of that. So for that, we're gonna step 1 foot back. Okay? And we're gonna start out high on the toe of our back foot. Our front knee is super bent, and our back leg is reaching nice and long and straight, and then you're gonna drop your back heel in just a little bit, like towards the middle of your mat. Awesome. And then your hands go nice and high. You can bring your hands to touch if you want.
When the warrior's growing out of the
Yes,
dreadlock.
this is the warrior growing out of the dreadlock. And you have to make your hands nice and comfortable, so if it's more comfortable like this, that's fine. If it's more comfortable together, that's fine. And if you feel ultra powerful and strong in this, you can look up at your hands, and that's your warrior one. Okay, bring your hands down to your heart, and then step back up to the top of your mat, and we'll do the other side. So step your opposite foot back. Front knee's nice and bent. Back leg drops in, but it's reaching super long. Hips are towards the front of your room, and arms go way up high. And maybe look up if that feels good. Good job. Take a breath. Hands come down to your heart. Good job. And then pop back up to the top and shake out your legs. Okay. So that's when he grows out of the ground.
Okay.
Pretty awesome, right? That's when he's like born into a warrior. It's a little interesting now. So we're gonna go back into our warrior one. So step your foot back, drop in the heel, back leg reaches long, front knee's bent.
Wait, is this on my back foot?
Yep, that's perfect, Jackson. Arms go high. This is your warrior one. Then you're gonna take a big breath, breathe in and reach up nice and high. And when you breathe out, open your chest. You're gonna turn this way.
Wait, this way?
There you go. So your chest is nice and open. Yep.
This way?
That's it. And your arms go nice and wide. And you look right over that middle finger. And you're ferocious and you're strong and brave. And your feet are both super rooted in the ground. Look over that hand. And then a good way to come out of this is to windmill your hands down to the ground and then step up to the top. And then we'll roll up. Roll, 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 roll. Should we do the other side?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so step your other foot back.
Wait.
That's gonna be that one as you turn towards me. Yep. Find that warrior one, drop that heel in. Arms high. Nice strong warrior. Take a big breath and reach your fingers. And then when you breathe out, open. Find your gaze over the middle finger. Keep this knee nice and bent and kind of pointing out this way. Yeah, good job. Foot flat. Awesome, awesome. Bring those arms up. You got it. Reach. And then windmill down and step to the top. Slowly roll up. Roll, roll, roll. Let's do a sunshine breath. Inhale, arms up high. Exhale. Should we do one more? Stay right there. It's so I don't hit your arms.
Okay.
Ready? Breathe up. Palms touch. Breathe out. All right. Our last warrior puts us into balancing, right? Okay. So it's the same thing. We're going to start in warrior one. So step 1 foot back. Either one, whichever one. Drop the heel in, bend the front leg. Arms go up high. Take a nice deep breath and reach. And then when you breathe out, you're going to tip forward and take flight off of your back leg.
And put the head on the stake.
The head goes on the stake, yep. So reach through your back leg and reach through your fingers and find your balance. That's warrior 3. And then we'll come back up to standing. Woo! Shake a leg. All right, our last warrior 3. Ready? Step your other foot back. Drop the heel in. Warrior 1. Rise up, rise up. Breathe strong. Breathe in. Breathe out and come forward. Point your back toes down towards the earth. Reach through your foot and your arms. If you fall out, get back in. Yeah! And then stand and rise. Let's shake everything. Shake, shake, shake. Oh my gosh, shake it all out. Yes. Okay, let's do 2 sunshine breaths and then we'll be done. Okay, ready? Inhale up. Palms together, breathe out. Inhale up. Palms together. Breathe out. Follow your hands down. Oh, hang for a minute. Shake out your legs. Maybe step back. Little down dog. Shake your tail. And then come down to your hands and knees. And we'll just come back to seated. So that's the story of how the warrior poses came to be. Right?
Yeah.
So it's just a story. But what should you always remember when you're doing Warrior 1 or Warrior 2 or Warrior 3?
You're strong, fierce warrior standing your ground, and being courageous.
Yeah. You know what's in your heart, and you're going to protect that, and you're going to go out there.
Okay.
Yeah. All the things you said. It's so good.
Yeah.
All right. So thanks for learning the warrior poses with us today. That was super fun. And we'll see you again. You are amazing.
You are amazing.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Thanks, y'all.
Bye.